Hello everyone, it's Tuesday the 9th of July, 2 p.m. here in Sydney time. I actually don't live in Sydney, but we're on Sydney time. So I always say that for anyone who's wondering. I live on the same coast, the east coast of Australia, and I'm about 90 minutes north of Sydney. So there we go. And I know we have lots of people here and you guys are from everywhere. So it's very exciting to have a good crowd with us already. I would like to say hello to everybody, but I can't. But just a couple of people. I noticed, Margaret, you are on here well and truly well ahead of time, 3 hours 51 minutes ago. And Jen said she was going to have to watch later because she has an appointment. So that happens. The replay is just as good. If you can, I can see, I don't know if everyone else can see, but there's a little red up in that corner. There's a little red button that says I'm live. I don't know if that works if you're on Facebook or YouTube. I'm not sure, but that's what I can see. Can anyone else see that same red button? Or is it just me? I know Facebook probably has that. Second week of school holidays. I think it's the first week here. I'm not actually sure because I'm all out of touch since my kids finished school. So, I used to know down to the second exactly when all the holidays were, but not so much anymore. Hello, Linda from Las Vegas. 120 degrees. Oh my goodness, that's just too hot. That's no good. I hope you have air conditioning wherever you are. Goodness me. Hey, Denise, nice to see you. Hi, Roz. Hey, Barbara. And then we have Donna. I think I saw we have two Donnas. I'm not sure. Anyway, we have a good crowd. Marilyn is here and Ronnie is here. Okay, I can't say hi to everyone. I'm so sorry. But I hope wherever you're watching from that you are happy and well and ready to craft. Right, so Technique Tuesday, as the name suggests, each week I try and focus on a different technique. So far, I've been able to do a whole bunch of different techniques. I started doing these in November last year every week. And so far, I don't think we've not even come close to running out of techniques because there are simply so many. I remember a friend of mine some years ago, I remember he said to me, what do you mean you teach stamping? How hard can it be? Isn't it just like, and that's it. That's all they have to do, right? Little does he know, there are so many techniques, right? I thought, that just shows complete lack of understanding of what it is we do here in the papercraft world. You're still in Tassie. Oh, playing grandma. How old are the grandkids? How old are they? Are they little ones? Older ones? I don't know if you've told me that before, but I don't remember if you have. The live button on YouTube is bottom left. That's interesting. Isn't that interesting? I guess they can put it wherever they want. It's their platform, right? Hello, Lani. Nice to have you with us. And Patricia's here. And, we have another Linda. That's 3 Lindas here today, if you count me. 2 and 4, they're only little. Oh, are they gorgeous? Do you love them with your whole grandmummy heart? Is it easy to look after them or are they a lot of work? I mean, kids are always a lot of work, right? I don't think I shouldn't be remotely close to being a grandma at this point in my life. My kids are 18 and 21. They'll be both having birthdays in October, so then I guess they'll be 19 and 22, but still way too early, I think. I mean, it's physically possible, but, I'm not ready and I don't think they are either. Hey, Fran, how are you? Nice to see you. Hey, Suzanne, lots and lots of people. Suzanne saying hello to everyone. To the moon and back, I know, right? All right, let's get started. Let's flip this over. And I'm going to look. Second. Oh, did my sound just go? Have we got sound? Do we have sound? Can someone answer and say whether or not we have sound? Because I think I lost it there for a second. I'm going to switch over to the desk. Yes. Okay, good. Now there's a bit of glare coming in the window, I notice. And you can see see all my scissors and things sitting up here. Let me put my blind down and we'll get rid of that, or as much as we can. So today, some of you may have seen the title of the YouTube video on YouTube. We are doing the spotlighting technique. And this is an old technique that's been around forever. Okay. And I have already prepared a card to show you. And I'm going to create the card, show you how I did it. For some of you, it's probably a technique that you guys know back to front with your eyes closed. For other people, it might be new. So I'd love to, if this is a new technique for you, let me know. I'm going to give you, I'm hoping we're going to have time to do a couple of samples today. So this is the one I want to do first, all right? It's the spotlighting technique where it basically pulls out some detail and makes it the focal feature of your card, okay? The sound went, but back again. Yeah, that's what I was aware it suddenly went, and that's why I was hoping it was back. That's good to know. Cold and wet, Jillian, that's no good. Well, indoors and crafting is the place to be when it's cold and wet, right? So I have here a very simple card. I've used the Layer of Beauty stamp set, and I'm gonna pull these details out for you. And then if we have time, I'm hoping we'll have time to do a second card that shows you a different way of doing. So I've done mine on white today. It doesn't have to be on white, so I'm going to show you a different example, not on white, a little later. Oh, it's stormy where you are, Tanya. That's no good. Everyone's got different. I mean, it's a big country, right? So we have people in all kinds of weather conditions all over the place. So just because even if you're all from Australia, you certainly are not all in the same weather conditions. All right, so I'm going to start out with a piece of just basic white here. This is basic white card, and I'm going to use this beautiful big stamp from the Layers of Beauty set. Okay. So has no one said they haven't seen this they don't know this technique. So does that mean we're talking to the converted and everybody knows it? So is it like you've seen it lots of times? I'm just going to open it. I'm using Blackberry Bliss. Okay. Blackberry Bliss is actually a neutral. It's one of our neutral colors, but you might be thinking, well, what's neutral about it? But we use it in the same way we use Night of Navy as a neutral or Mossy Meadow as a neutral. You can stamp with it. It'll give you a really nice effect, and it's softer than black. Of course, I could do this in black, but I wanted to use this because I like this. I like this take on it. And I'm going to use, let me just see if I have one handy. I want to use a mat underneath my work because it's such a big stamp, and we want to make sure that we get a nice, which way will this go? That's better. We're going to get a nice even image. So if I just do it on my mat, I will get on the glass, it'll get a pretty good image. But if I want to be sure to get a really great image for the whole of the stamp, you're better to use something underneath, like a piercing pad is great. You can also use a mouse pad if you want to. Now I'm actually going to this is going to go slightly off the edges. I could have it so it was all on, but I'd like mine slightly off the edges. But I'd like these little detailed daisies to be on because they're really pretty. So I'll have them so they're just on the edge of the paper. So most of it, it's hardly over the edge at all, but just a tiny bit. All right. So giving it time to transfer the ink properly. If you're not real sure, you can also run your fingers over the back of it to make sure it's made good contact, and then just peel it off. Okay. And you can see that that has created a nice image. This image is so lovely to work with. You know, so many nice things you can do with it. One of the things I like to do with it is emboss it on a dark color. Looks so good. Oh, Patricia, so you've seen it, but you haven't mastered it. Okay, that's good to know. Really good. Linda said she's never tried it. Well, I hope maybe after this you will try it because it's super easy, and it's very striking. And it's simple, okay? So I'll give you a couple of examples today. All right, so I'm now going to stamp this again, all right? I can do it on the mat. If you're going to do it on the mat to get the better image, you would want to have a piece of paper underneath. I'm just thinking, I think I have, let me just grab like a piece of scrap paper. Oh, I was thinking I just had, I have my, sorry, it's probably under a million things because you guys know how my desk looks all the time. So we have like a piece of scrap just on top of it so that we don't get all the mat all coloured and dirty. I'm just going to take a piece of paper out of my printer, actually. But what I wanted was I was going to use the grid paper, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to be a grid. I'm just going to use it on here. All right, so I'm not going to worry about inking up the whole thing because I just want this center part. I don't want the whole of the stamp this time. It's too small a piece of paper anyway, so I'm just going to ink up the middle, not going to worry about the edges. And I'm going to stamp this right here. Okay. All right, so it's given another a nice stamp, and we're just interested in part of the middle here. Now, when you do this technique, what you're doing is you're highlighting a piece of the design that you want to have highlighted. So I think it's really pretty. I mean, obviously, this is part of this whole stamp, but it's just pulled out this center section, so it really becomes the focal point of the whole thing. All right, so we're going to do the same thing again here. And I could have, you know, that's actually the way. Is that the way it goes? It goes that way, actually, if I was going to have it on the same angle. Okay. I did mine when I cut it out. I used my 2-inch punch to cut it out. Now, the nice thing about using a punch, there's a couple of advantages to using a punch over a circle die. Okay. First of all, you can turn it over. And you can see when you put it in, you can see which part of it you want to pick up. So like it gives you some options. You know, oh yeah, I like that bit, you know, or I like this bit. So, you know, we might do it slightly different to the first one. And I rather like those couple of flowers there. I think they look rather good, those little daisies and part of the rose. So I'm thinking that might be good. So let's do that. All right. Now, let's color this. So this is going to now become a colored piece. All right. I'm doing it on the white because I decided I want to use my blends to do the coloring. And I'm just going to scroll down because I realized sometimes I forget to hit the button that allows the scroll to continue and I don't get new comments. Did I do? No, because I don't have the dog stamp, Denise. Oh, sorry. Marilyn, you're not even asking me. You're asking Denise. Sorry. I got myself confused there. So Denise may have done it with the dog stamp because it would work really, really well with the dog stamp. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, so I'm going to bring in some blends. You can do colouring in any way. You could use watercolours. You could use watercolour pencils. You could do all kinds of things. But I've just pulled in a few of my favourite colour blends and I'm going to colour this. Now, we haven't actually done a Technique Tuesday showing you how to use the blends. So this is going to be like a little simple crash course right now. I don't know that it needs its own because they're very easy to use. So for those of you who don't know, the blends come in pairs. So let me find this other one. Oh, I think it's, hang on. Did I get it out of the box? That'll be the question. All right, so this is light Blackberry Bliss and dark Blackberry Bliss. And so you actually want to go and turn to the side and you can see it says so right here on the edge. Okay. Ah, there you go. Marilyn, Denise answered you. Never too late, Nola. Never, ever. It's completely fine. You just join in when you get here. It's never a problem. All right, so you got dark and light, okay? And it tells me that one is dark, one's light. I mean, I can see that, but it is handy to look at them because sometimes you pull in some of these other colors and you think, oh, hang on, is that Blackberry Bliss? No, it's Light Petunia Pop. So I need to actually sometimes, some of the colors are similar. Same with, like, I've got Daffodil and I've got Lemon Lolly, but they can look so similar sometimes. You want to actually read the side and make sure you've got the right one. Now, the other thing about the packaging is it tells you on the packaging which is the fat end and which is the thin end. Can you see there's a fat line here and a skinny line on this end? That's telling me that this is the paintbrush end. All right. And yes, they are stiff to get off and put back on. They're meant to be, because if they don't go on very tightly and be nice and stiff to get on and off, they could the air could get to your points and they dry out. Okay, so you really want them to be a good stiff fit. And so sometimes for that reason, to put them on, I find the easiest way to put them on is kind of hold it against the heel of my hand and push. Okay, so it's actually sometimes easier than using your fingers. Just do it with the heel of your hand, or you could, push it onto the table as well. But yeah, small end, fat end, to tell you which is the bullet tip for like writing or doing very fine work, and the brush tip for doing like a broader area. So they're those. There's the two Blackberry Bliss. They're the two Petunia Pop, light and dark. And then I've also pulled in another colour here to sort of round it out, and that's Bubble Bath. I thought those three look really nice together, and that's what I've used here when I was doing my colouring. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to colour in very similar colours to what I did before. I'm going to start out with the dark. Okay, my particular method of using blends, okay, is to use the dark one first and then do the blending with the light one. I get the light one to do all the work. Some people do it the other way around. So it really depends on what you think. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the darker colour in here. So we're just going to add that. And then I'm going to get my, and I only do a small section at a time. Then I get my darker colour, and I'm going to get the brush tip, and I'm just going to bring that in and colour most of that. I'm not going to colour all of it because I'm going to leave a little bit for the next lighter colour. Okay, and while it's still wet, then I'm going to go down to the next colour. You can go dark or light Petunia Pop, but I'm actually going to the light one because then it's going to bring a little bit more of that highlighting colour. So I like to use the lighter colours to actually do the blending. So I go over the edges and everything with the lighter colours. So you can see I'm just going around like the edges of my petals here. And that one's going to be a petal, and then just maybe a little bit here on the edge. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but you don't want to do too big an area at once. Luckily, this is not that big an area. So I'm going to go down to my dark Bubble Bath, and I'm going to go over that edge that I've just created. And because they're still wet, it works best when they're still wet. They will start to blend together. Okay, and you'll want to go over it a couple of times. And it actually doesn't necessarily happen immediately. Sometimes it takes a little while for the color to start to kind of bleed and blend together. Does that kind of make sense? I'm going to go down to the lightest one now, and then I'm going to do the same thing with that and go back over both of them, and that will really help them all blend together. I usually do my blending in like little circular motions when I'm getting a bigger area going. But something that's worth noting is you don't want to press too hard with these, because when you do, you actually can damage the tip. You want to go very, very lightly over your work. Okay, so I've gone very dark in the middle, and then I've got the lighter areas around the edge. Now I'm going to use my dark lemon lolly. Which one? See, I just picked up there you go. That's the dark lemon lolly, and I'm going to use the bullet tip, and I'm going to colour in my little yellow daisies here, because they're rather nice. And because it's such a small area, I'm not even going to worry about blending it, because you're not going to really see the blending in such a small area. And then I'm thinking maybe we'll come in with, what one's this? This is the dark Petunia Pop, so I'm going to come in with the light Petunia Pop and just make a little middle of my flower. And then I'm going to do this one here, and we're going to go similar colours again. So I've got dark Petunia Pop. I'm going to go around the edges, and I'm just sort of highlighting some of the edges of some of the petals. But once again, it's pretty a small area, so you're not going to get a lot of the benefit of it. Yeah, this one. And then I'm going to go to my Bubble Bath. I'm not even going to worry about the light one. I'm just wondering, is that there? It just really is just sort of a hint of like a bit of leaves or a stem in between the two. So I probably will just go over it with the green. For the green, I used Old Olive, and I didn't even worry about particularly. I've just used the bullet end. So I'm just going to go over that to make it look green. And I'm going to use some of the dark, but I'm mostly going to use the light. I'm not using much dark actually. So using blends is a little bit time consuming, but I don't mind. I mean, if you like doing something, who cares how long it takes? And I do really like using them. I think they're fun to use. They give you a beautiful result. Ah, what's happened? Nicole's answering Donna. One of your lids cracked. I've had, yeah, I would definitely, lids should not be cracked. So definitely contact SU and see if they will change it. But because if you've had it more than 90 days, they may not be able to do anything, but it's always worth asking, because if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no, right? So ask, see what they say. If they tell you that nothing can be done about it because it's been too long, just know that a cracked lid is not normal and is not right. All right, so I've got this little piece now, all right, which looks really, really good. Yeah, so you can see what it looks like. It's looking very pretty. It is so relaxing to color, and I agree, Chris. I don't even care how long it takes. Yeah, talk to your demonstrator, definitely, Donna. All right, so what we're trying to do here is these little two flowers here are these two little flowers here. I want this piece to go right on top of the pieces below so that the lines all continue and it looks like it's just one piece. All right, like so. But can you see that this one, even though that looks really good, okay, it's different to this. All right, and you can decide if you want. I think the piece that we're doing looks better if your background is colored as well, so that the whole piece stands out from the white background. Now, if you just like it like this, you could have it like that, but I really love the idea. Now for this one, just wanted to let you know, I used a blending brush and actually went around the edges and actually added Lemon Lolly ink to the background to do that. But because I have my Lemon Lolly marker out, I'm actually just going to grab it and I'm going to quickly, this is the light one. Is this the light one? Hang on. Yes, it is. And I'm going to quickly color that whole background. It won't take long. I'm barely touching the paper. I'm being very, very careful to just like gently dab at it. I don't want to hurt my brush at all. And I want them to be, you know, used forever and ever. And well, I don't think they're meant to last forever, let's be honest, but they will last you a really long time if you treat them well. And no crack lids. Okay, crack lids are right out. We fix those immediately because it can't be, nothing you can do about a crack lid. Once it's cracked and the air is going to get to your brushes. All right, so that's what my piece looks like now. Well, yeah, that would be nice. That would be lovely. Blue would be great. Pool Party is probably my favorite color for backgrounds with blends. All right, but in this case, I've done it in this color. All right, so now you should be able to see. Let me line that up again so that the piece is starting to look like it pops. There we go. Can you see that? Now, how does it look? Can you see what I mean about adding the yellow background or any background? The blue would have been nice too, Nicole, and I wish I'd thought of it because that would have been lovely. All right, so that's really nice. So here's what we've got next to each other. You could just leave it like this if you like. I like to go the extra step and put a piece of paper behind here. Now we could add Pool Party there, Nicole, if we wanted to. I mean, that would be different. It would be, the only thing about adding Pool Party there would be that we don't have Pool Party anywhere else. So I'm wondering, what do you think? Should we do the circle behind in the blackberry? I've actually got one already cut out, but I'm happy to cut it out again in Pool Party if you think that would be better. And Nicole, I'm asking you because you have a very good sense of these things and I will trust your judgment. Do you think we should do Pool Party or do you think we should do blackberry? It does look really good, doesn't it? It's a really nice technique. So you can see what it looks like without an extra circle and you can see what it looks like with an extra circle. In the blackberry, says Nairi. But I'm waiting for Nicole to see what she says. Oh, maybe there was some petals there and I thought they were I think these up here, there might be some petals there. Oh, you mean these ones, don't you? Yeah, they might be. I could probably go over them with green. Oh, well. Doesn't matter. Blackberry with the color combination I've done. All right. Okay. Well, I've got that one already cut. But for future reference, I think you're right. I think Pool Party would have been the next one. All right. Now, you might be able to see this is actually not done with a punch. Can you see the stitching around it? It's done with a die. And I'm going to tell you why. Because normally the easiest way to do this is with 2 punches, one slightly bigger than the other. Okay. However, my 1 3/4 circle punch is not working. So I would normally do the 1 3/4 circle and the 2-inch circle. Plus I wanted, because of the size of the stamp, I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. Okay, so the 2-inch circle to me was a better size for this. And then the next circle punch we have up from this one is the 2 3/8 circle, and that's too big. All right, I mean, you can see the difference in the circles. This one's considerably bigger. It's 3/8 of an inch bigger than the other, but I thought there was too much. When I cut this out, let me show you. Let me find a piece of paper. Here we go. When I cut this out, right, it was just too big. And it left too much space around it. So I lost the spotlight effect. All right, so I had this piece and then that piece was on top. Can you see what I mean about being too much? So I went with this shape instead, which is one of the stylish shapes. And it is like a fraction, as you can see, like an 1/8 of an inch. Actually, it might even be a 1/16 of an inch, but it's only a fraction bigger than the other circle. And so for that reason, I thought it was better. And it provides you with the highlight, but you don't lose too much of the design. So that's okay, Suzanne. Whenever you watch the replay is completely fine. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these together using my Tombow or whatever glue you would like. You can see how the colouring has come through the paper. That is completely normal with blends because alcohol markers will always go through your paper. They just do. They saturate, and that's why the colours are so good, because they saturate your paper. All right, so I'm just going to pop that right there so it's centered on that little circle. And you almost can't see, you can just, if you turn it in the right light, you can see the perforation of the stitching, but you almost can't see it because that's how close in size they are. All right, so it looks good though. All right, so I'm going to be putting those 2 little yellow flowers right on top of those 2, and then we're going to try and get this so that it actually, there you go, that's going to be the right shape or the right place. So I'm going to put some glue behind that, and I'm just going to glue it straight on. And this is your spotlighting technique, guys. It's nice, isn't it? I like it. I think it's really lovely. So I'm lining up those, and there we go. There they are. Just hold that down so it stays in place. While I'm here, I also have from the same set, from the Layers of Beauty set, we've got this stamp here that says Grateful for You. So I'm going to use that with my Blackberry Bliss, and we'll stamp that up in the corner. Like so. It's a nice font, isn't it? It's really nice. Right. I have got a piece of Blackberry Bliss for my base card, and because I'm using such a dark color, I'd also want to put a piece of basic white on the inside because I want to be able to write on it. Otherwise it'd be too dark, so I would need a piece of paper inside as well. So let's just also, if you want to zip around the outside, because I've got my blends here, I'm going to use my Lemon Lolly. I'm going to use my brush end, but very gently. I'm going to zip around that edge, and we're going to make it yellow. So this is actually like a very quick, very cheaty way of sponging around your edges. Instead of using a sponge, we're using a blend, and we're using the side of the brush. So there's a little tip for you. If you've got your blends out, why not? Might as well use them. Just you don't want to be doing that too hard again, because you don't want to damage your tip. But if you do it nice and gentle, you'll be fine. It does look good, doesn't it? And it's an easy technique. So my apologies to anyone who feels like, oh my goodness, she's showing really old things. It's nice to see them done with new product though, right? All right, so let's pop that right there. And all right, so the last thing I'm going to need on here is bling, and we've got some options for bling, and I've got something I want to show you, and I'm really excited about it. You guys know how every time I go looking in my bling box, I'm always struggling because I always can't find all the embellishments that I want, and I can't, I always say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't find that one. Well, look at my embellishment box now. I have emptied it out, right? And I'm going to show you what I did, and I'm really happy with it. You guys are welcome to try this if you would like to, and I thought it might be a really cool thing to show. I went and bought myself, we sell these. I went and bought myself a book. These are let me scroll out a little bit so you can see it. All right. So these are the 6x8 albums that we have in our, and you can also buy the page protectors, and I bought 3 sets of page protectors, right? And look what I've done. I've put all my embellishments each into their own little thing because I had some sets that I had bought several of, and I've consolidated all of those. So I can see at a glance now exactly what I have. And I've got all these different ones, and these are all current. We went through the other day. I had a friend come yesterday and help me sort through a lot of stuff, and this is one of the jobs we did. So I went through, I've got, my coffee swirls here. I've got my textured dots here. I've got my smoky slate and basic grey pearls up here. And most of this, like all the ones that are on the little sheets, fit in these 3x4 slots that are in the 6x8 variety pack. Okay, these bigger ones fit quite nicely in the 4x6 areas. Yeah, it's working really well. So I hope that you guys, if you have thought about how you're going to store your embellishments, this is a great way to do it because you can see them at a glance. Now, the ones I want the purple gems. Here they are. So I'm going to pull those out. Oh, and then the really big ones, at the back, I've got a couple of sets of packs that are brand new packs that I haven't opened yet. So I've got those by themselves. I've got some extra pages, and these ones were too big to fit anywhere else, so I used one of the big sheets. There's one of those pages in the page protector packs. Like I said, I bought 3, but I'm using them for bigger ones and for unopened packs. So, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and, great organization. That's something that you never hear said to me because I am, not known for my organizational skills, but this is working. And I'm really excited about it because it means I can find what I'm looking for much, much faster than going through a box where they're all just smashed in together. All right. So let me bring this down again. And I was very proud of that little innovation. I thought it worked quite well. All right. So I've got my purple gems. And as you can see, the purple gems, you got I think they're Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, I think. Unless they're Fresh Freesia and Highland Heather. It's a bit hard to say, but I know these ones are Blackberry Bliss. So let's add those to our card. Hi, Natalie. Nice to see you. You just popped in on whatever. Right? That's very cool. I know techniques do come and go. You think 20-year cycles? So I'm going to use one of these these large Blackberry Bliss ones. So I'm going to put one down here. And I've got a couple of small ones, and I'm going to put those up in the top part over here. And let's put one up above that G. And there we go. Done. All right, so now I have 2 of these cards. This one, you can see the color's a bit different. I used a blending brush to do the background on this one with the lemon lolly. And this one I use the blends, and it's a bit more yellow, isn't it? This one sort of picked up. This one picked up a little bit of the blackberry from the blends when I was using my my blending brush and blended that together in there. That's why it looks a little bit orangey. But this one is a bit more yellow. All right, there we go. Ice cream containers are good too, Nari. If that's working for you, fantastic. But I just thought that I need to be able to see them because I'm always always complaining I can't find the right embellishment when I need it, you know. So I'm hoping that that's going to work for me. It's only going to work as well as me actually remembering to put them away and put them where they're supposed to go. But I think that that's a good idea. Do we have time? It's 2:35. So I think we have time for one more card. And I'm just going to give you a different idea. The reason that this worked as a spotlighting card is because this highlighted area is so different from the background. So it immediately pops, yeah? And also having a darker rim around also helps it pop, or a different color rim, okay? So it doesn't have to be darker, it just has to be a different color. So that's the reason why it works. However, a few weeks ago, we did the reverse masking technique. Does anyone remember that? This time I want to show you doing it the other way around. And I have, well, that's a piece of white. I've got a piece of, what's some basic gray? Sorry, no, basic beige. What am I saying? Basic beige, which is a new color for anyone who hasn't tried it yet. Love this color. Goes with everything. To me, it's very similar to when we had Sahara Sand. Sahara Sand was a bit more green. This has got not as much green in it, but it does still have some. Okay, so now I'm just going to use a different stamp set, and we're going to create our own kind of background. So the spotlighting technique works, I think, best with stamps that you can color and that have a reasonable amount of detail. Okay, because then you can carry on the detail in the circle that you're using, or other shapes. It doesn't have to be a circle. It could be a square. It could be a hexagon. So you could use other shapes. I'm going to use this beautiful, because I love this stamp. This is from the Changing Leaves stamp set, which is, for those of you who don't know, this is the set that I'm going to be using this month for our Zoom class. For anyone who has the Changing Leaves set, has purchased it from me, you get to do the class for free. And any team members can do the class for free. But if you want to make the cards that I have, you will need the Changing Leaves bundle to do it. If you haven't purchased it from me, but you have it and you'd like to do the class, I am going to be making it available. I haven't put it up yet, but right now I'm thinking that the cost will be $15 Australian. It's going to be a Wednesday afternoon, the 24th of July at 2 p.m, or you can watch the replay. Okay, so there will be options to do that. Now I'm deciding what colors I want to work with on here, and I'm thinking I'm going to go with like I'm thinking maybe Old Olive might be good. So I'm just going to pull that out of the bucket here. And I'm actually going to have a couple of different colors. So we might go Old Olive and let's have one there. And should we have maybe Mossy Meadow? And then we could go with a brownie color, like maybe a pecan pie, or maybe Cajun Craze if we want to go a bit more orange. Copper clay would look good too. Right, so this is going to be darker this time. I'm going to put a piece of paper back on here again, just so I don't mark my mat too much. Yep, hello cookies here. All right, so that's a bit darker. Looks good, doesn't it? I love the detail in this set. Look how beautiful that is. Love it. It's gorgeous. All right, I'm going to go Cajun Craze. Do you know what? This is probably the color of all my colors. This is the color I use the least. I don't love it, but for some things it looks really pretty. So let's try it on here. I think it might look rather good. Hey, Judy's here. Hi, Judy. How are you? All right, so I'm going to, whoop, I've got a little piece of cardstock there. So let me try that again. Quite often when you've got a big stamp like this, it's easier to ink it up by laying the stamp down face up and then taking your stamp pad to it rather than trying to go the other way around. You may find, I find, that's a lot easier. All right, so I'm going to have this one coming in here. Let's see how that's looking. So this is on the basic beige. It's nice, isn't it? All right, so I'm going to clean my stamp. And I'm actually going to fill in a couple of the edges. So Old Olive is here, Mossy Meadows here, the Cajun Craze is here. So I'm going to try and give it a bit of balance by applying these colours where, so the Old Olive is not on this side, so we'll add some here. And Huey just said hi to Cookie, did he, Kay? Oh, that's so cute. So cute. I'm sure. Oh, I don't know for sure. You know, I don't know. The Cookie plays nicely with others. I mean, I think he likes the sound of other birds. But once upon a time, many years ago, we had another bird, and they did not get along at all. We had another cockatiel. His name was Biggles, and Biggles was he was my first cockatiel. I absolutely loved him. Got him when he was a tiny little baby, and then he became a teenager and decided that he didn't like me very much. He was my husband's bird. They usually pick somebody, and it wasn't me, unfortunately. So, all right. So I've got this now, and I'm deciding where I would like this to be. Doesn't that look good just by itself? It's such a nice. I know the leaves look fantastic. They look real. Exactly, Judy. They really do. I know. I think all these colours look good on basic beige, Nicole. Looks really nice. And yes, I could maybe grow to like Cajun Craze more on this colour. All right, I am going to I'm deciding which colour I want to pull out. And that's always a challenge. Do we want it to be landscape, or do we want it to be... All right, I'm going to go with Old Olive, and let's see. I'm deciding which part of the stamp I want to have. Not that it really matters, but I'm going to bring in a smaller piece, and we are going to stamp it. So this is a bit trickier because we're using different colors, and because, you know, not that it really matters. It's going to look good regardless. Oh, I just realized I don't want to do that on the same color. I want to do it on a different color. Sorry, I just messed up, guys. All right, let's do it on a piece of white. Grabbing another piece of white. Sorry about this. I went rogue in my own mind. Let's use another piece here. You can see this is left over from another card I did. And I might use that other piece I just did with that other, because I'm going to use this for something else later. Not today, but super nice. Such a good stamp. All right, let's bring it in. Let's try this again. So this time I'm making my spotlight piece white rather than having a different color piece, because I think it'll stand out really, really nicely. And let's use the same size as we did before. I think that worked well. I'm wondering, do we go with the same size? What do you guys think? We could even go up to a bigger one if we wanted, because this is not especially big. I could go up to my bigger punch. Oh, I don't know. Let's stick with the same just for the sake of the exercise today. And then I'm deciding which part of this I want to have. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do this part. Which part will I do? See what I mean about it's nice being able to choose what area you want to use with your punch. And I don't know that we'll even need to colour it, but you can see this is that piece right there. Can you see that? And then we could do a spotlight. We could do a couple of spotlights. So I could do the same again, but have I got a big enough piece? So I might need another piece of white. Just give me 1 second. So let's do another piece in a different colour. So let's do the Cajun Craze. You kind of seeing what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to achieve. And the question now, let me just move that for a second, will be, where do I want these to be? So there's your Cajun Craze. And if I want to have, okay, just say I've got this one is going to be here, roughly. Okay, let's put it in the right spot. So you're just trying to line up all the lines. Looks good, doesn't it? And then what you can do is we could have another piece, say, down in this area here. So if I was to use the punch again, and then this piece is going to go here. So can you see what we're doing? And then I could have another one down here. And I can have, I hope this is giving you an idea of what you can do. It looks like they're really, like a spotlight really shining. It does look like a spotlight. Exactly right, Susan. That's what we're going for. All right, and I think I'm going to do one more piece. And I'm going to do this one in Mossy Meadow. And Mossy Meadow is the darker color, so if you didn't want to clean it first, I'm going to, but if you didn't want to clean it first, you can kind of get away with it. If you're going up to the next color and that's darker, you can get away with not cleaning it off. All right. So this one I'm going to have here. So there's the Mossy Meadow. And I want to have this one down here, so it's going to be in this area. So let's grab that punch again. And it might go over the edge. Actually, that's the wrong punch. That's the big punch. I want the 2-inch, not the 3. So I'm going to put that one here. Now, it's not all going to fit on there, but that's okay. It doesn't have to. So this one is going to end up here like that, and I'm going to chop this off that edge. Does it make sense what I'm doing? Hey, Margaret. Nice to have you with us. Now, you could just do it like that, and it would look like a spotlight, like what we said. But if you want to really highlight them, then you could add the circle behind. All right. So if I wanted to add a circle, and I could do it in, say, copper, that would be really nice. Or I could do it in the Mossy Meadow because that's the darkest color, and that would look really good. So the question is, will we go with copper or will we go with Mossy Meadow? I'm going to grab that same size I did earlier, which is this one right here. All right, and it's going to go around these. It does look amazing, and it's a simple thing to do, right? You just got to move them around so they match up. Oh, it's raining. Oh, now you've got that song in my head, Nicole. Thanks very much. So what are people saying? No one has actually said which one. Oh, the punch just arrived. Yay, good, thanks, Lani. I'm glad. I'm surprised it didn't come before now. I thought it might have come yesterday, actually. All right. Well, no one said anything, so I'm just going to go with the Mossy Meadow. But yeah, copper would be another, with the Cajun Craze, copper and Cajun Craze look good together. I'm talking myself into liking Cajun Craze more than I actually do. So I'm going to cut that circle 3 times to match each spotlight. And third time, let's do it. All right, so let's whack them together. So we're just going to put some glue on the back of this. And you don't have to put them on dimensionals or anything like that. You just glue one to the other. And in fact, I think it looks better if they're just glued together, because then you get a closer match between your focal point and what's in the background. So I think it makes sense to just glue them. You don't get the same look if you use dimensionals. You'll never hear me say that because you know me, I love my dimensionals. But all right, so there's one. There's two. And then there's three. Now this changing leaves set, absolutely love it. I just think it's so nice. For anyone who's wondering, if you were doing the changing leaves course with me because you bought the changing leaves set, you will still qualify. That order would also qualify you for next month's craft along. So you'll also get the supply pack for that. So you get extra. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's line these up so they actually go together. So you kind of, and that's the nice thing about using Tombow for this technique, because you want to have a bit of wriggle time so you can kind of move it into place. Can you see how that looks? Oh, yes, you could emboss the background. Haven't tried doing that, Kay. That's a nice idea. Have to give that a whirl. All right, let's see where we want this to go. Yep, that's right. That one lines up perfect. Now this one is going to go off the edge. Remember that? That's okay though. So I'm doing the top part like this. I'm not going to worry about this bottom part because I'm only gluing the top. Hang on, that's not right. You've got a little bit of this edge of this leaf as well. All right, like that. All right, so now what I'll do here is I'm going to come in with my scissors, or you could use a trimmer if you prefer, and I'm going to butt my scissors up against that from the back and just cut straight along that, and that helps me keep it nice and straight. All right, like that. So it's a bit of a different take on the same spotlighting set. This time we made our own background and then did the spotlight pieces. The first one we colored them in. This one I haven't. This one I'm leaving them. So there you go. And I'll finish this up and make it into a card. What do you think, guys? Do we like these? Oh yes, I'm qualified for the bonus days voucher. Thank you, Denise. Does everyone know about the bonus days special that's on this month? If you haven't heard about that, thank you, Denise. I tell you what, sometimes I forget to be a good demonstrator and tell everybody everything they need to know. I'm so sorry. But yeah, this, and these are nice, by the way. These little greeting thingies, you can pop them, we can pop them down here and have a greeting here, or I can go and have the longer one, which might also look quite nice. I don't want to cover up too much of my design though, but that, I think the longer one is better. So for this, I'm going to pop that here, and I'm going to use, I'll tell you what would look nice. You could do it in dark color and emboss in white on a darker color like Mossy Meadow or Cajun Craze. That would look really good, but I'm actually not going to do that today in the interest of time. Let's go a little note to brighten your day. It's rather good. I'm still missing a stamp out of this stamp set. Be cross with myself about that. That's my own fault for not putting it back properly, obviously. All right, so Mossy Meadow, where are we? Yeah, a couple of different ways to use the technique. So, you know, showing what the white spotlights look like on a darker background. And it's not even very dark. Beige is not a dark background, but it's darker. And then what a coloured spotlight looks like on a white background. So just giving you guys different ways of using this technique. All right, so that's going to get cut out there. Now this is going to go on a I haven't even decided yet. I could do beige on a beige background because that would actually look quite nice. And if I was going to do that, I would definitely edge around here, probably in Mossy Meadow or Cajun Craze, and go around the edge just to highlight it on the basic beige. Or I can put it on a white folded background. Either one. Here's one right here. So that could go on here. Like so. And then we'll have our greeting right here. And there we go. That's how that would look. So what do you think, guys? Do we like that? Yeah, there's so many things to learn, Lani. I mean, you just never stop learning with this craft. It's amazing. There you go. It is a different way to use an old application. Exactly. You're right, Cherie. All right, let's switch back over to me. I'll have those cards up in a little while for you. So over the next couple of days, I'll be putting them up on social media. Either they'll be on my Instagram and Facebook business page. Sometimes I put things up in the VIP group as well, and I might put separate things up in the VIP group. But I hope you all enjoyed that today. It was a fun technique to show. I've always, every week, I'm like, oh no, what am I going to show this week? And sometimes I have no clue until the last hour or so. But that's okay. Doesn't matter as long as I go live at the right time. It's all good. You're very, very welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are after any information or if you wish to place an order, all the details are in the description immediately below the YouTube video. So if you're on YouTube, just under the video, there's a little button that says more that you click, and it has all the rest of the information. It has the online store there, information about different places that you might like to go to see more of what we do. All right, you're very welcome. I will see you again very soon. And Friday night is our next Friday Night Live, of course. And I'm just thinking, am I live between now and then? No, I have a class here tomorrow, and then I'm not live on Thursday, but Friday night I will see you again. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.